Welcome back, folks. This is part 2 of the MMANonstop.com podcast, episode 7 with Jake Ellenberger.
MMANonstop.com. The fight starts here.
Now, Jake, the big story in the welterweight, title division is the title picture is now, GSP versus Nick Diaz. What do you think about that fight? Do you think that Nick's done enough to deserve this title shot?
Yeah, I do. I'm a Diaz fan myself. I think, the guy, he doesn't care who he fights. We're a lot alike when it comes to that department. The guy keeps proving himself. He keeps winning. So, he's definitely at that, at that level to fight for a world title. So, it makes sense.
Right on. Now, so seemingly this is the first fight, between a Strikeforce and a UFC guy. And, so to speak, this should open the floodgates. Is there anybody from Strikeforce that you'd like to see come over and maybe you have a fight against?
Yeah, there's like I said, anybody that I would have to fight to get a shot at the title. But, I just heard that a guy, Paul Daly, called me out, which is kind of funny. I think he's more looking for a ticket back to the UFC, And I basically told Paul, if you want to fight me, you can fight me anytime you want. Go out and buy the UFC and just beat a video game like all the other former fighters.
Does Paul Daly interest you at all? I think a lot of people would they may like to see that matchup between you two. Does that interest you at all?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't hesitate at all to ask me to fight Paul Daly.
Right on.
I think that's an easy fight, to be honest.
Yeah, both of you guys, you've talked about your striking prowess before, and he's obviously heavy-handed. Of your 5 fights in the UFC, 3 of them have ended by knockout or TKO, and 5 of your last 7 fights have ended that way as well. But that's not necessarily the case for a lot of fighters, especially the wrestlers. Do you think that you should be rewarded more, or that other fighters should be held back because of either inability or ability to finish a fight?
Yeah, I can kind of see both sides. It is hard. I will give credit to, it's hard to fight or to finish, high-level guys. You got guys like Story and Fitch that don't even finish guys hardly at all. But that's up to the UFC. They're doing well and they know how to win fights. But as far as finishing guys, I think they're kind of holding guys back more, and they're looking for finishing, which I think everybody who goes out there and fights is looking to finish the fight. But some guys just play it safe. But I think GSP does too. But he's at the top and he's just trying to stay there.
Right on. Let's talk a little bit. I want to ask you. You attended the UFC Fighter Summit, right?
Yeah.
How was your experience with that? And being on Twitter and seeing they talked about the health insurance. They talked about Twittering and how to manage your money. What was kind of your experience there?
It was great. I always enjoy going out there and seeing all the guys and just having fun. But the UFC they're doing so well with PR and media and really promoting all the fighters and helping us promote ourselves. But the insurance is huge. I don't think people realize how big that is. I think they really are trying to take care of their fighters, and they do. And it kind of proves with certain insurance, for us, it takes a lot of stress off, our shoulders. So I really do think they're taking care of us.
Sure. You mentioned, getting back and getting a chance to spend time with some of the guys. And I know, you hang out with, you tweeted some pictures at Mayhem Miller's house this week, and I know you trained with Mark Munoz. Is there anyone that, maybe we'd be surprised to hear that, you're really good friends with on the roster?
Good friends with.
Or that you hung out with or had I didn't get a lot of chance to hang out with them before, but this time in Vegas, you guys enjoyed yourselves?
Yeah, I hung out with BJ Penn a little bit. I helped him train a couple times. He's a good guy. We're both Hawaiians, so it's we kind of get along really well. We had a good time though in Vegas. There was a funny incident actually. I was sitting next to Tito at the summit, and next thing I know, he's about to whoop Matt Mitrione's ass. And
so you were right there for that.
Kind of, oh, yeah, it was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, I saw the videos that Roy Nelson put on, and it looked like it was getting a little heated.
I know. Well, it's funny. I thought I didn't know what was going on until Tito got in his face, and I guess he had said some things that he shouldn't have said that disrespected Tito, and they really wanted to throw down. It was it was interesting.
Yeah, it looked like it was a good time. So now today, day 3 of the new UFC Twitter policy. What is that changing the way you tweet now? I mean, what is that? Is that money? Is that something you're going to go after actively?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always been pretty active on Twitter, and yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I haven't really a lot of time to do it, I should say, but.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you're almost at 8,000 followers, and obviously there's some good bonuses out there. Get the most entertaining tweet, although I think Tito might have the most interesting tweet already. But
yeah, I think he might have that sealed up.
So,
well, that comes all about marketability. You talked about Tito. Matt Mitrione does a decent job of it. BJ Penn, obviously, his interviews always end with just bjpenn.com, Joe. So when it comes to fighters being marketable and likable from a fan perspective, what do you think it takes for a fighter to jump up the ladder the fastest in the eyes of the UFC?
As far as like marketability?
Yeah, pretty open-ended.
I think the biggest thing is actually just how you treat people in general. There's a lot of dickheads in the sport, and I really just think it comes down to how you treat people, and really there's no better guy I can think of than Mark Munoz. He treats people, just he's such a good person, and you can be exciting, but it's going to come down to really how you treat people and how you treat your fans. And I think people really recognize that. So
I think, speaking of Mark Munoz, he's definitely one of the nicest guys in the sport that I've met. And you train at Reign with Mark, and you train with Mayhem Miller. Is this in your opinion, is this one of the highest levels of training partners you've had in your career?
I would say that this has been the highest number of like high level training partners. Sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Tell us something kind of about your experience of training and kind of different things that you're learning from both, Mayhem and Mark.
Everyone kind of brings a little something different to the table. I've always been training with bigger guys, which I like to because it helps. Just when I fight guys lighter, it's not as not as much weight, not as big, but everyone kind of brings a unique variable to the table, and just guys that continue. Our gym at Reign is it's guys who continuously push each other and really just make each other do a little more than they want to do. I think it helps everybody out, and we kind of feed off each other, and it's a positive atmosphere to training.
Right on it. You spent some time this week, and the UFC just announced, the next season of The Ultimate Fighter with Mayhem and in Bisping. What was kind of your experience this week with Mayhem as he's getting ready to go start filming the show, and what do you think about this upcoming season?
It's interesting. I think it's cool that Mayhem's coach. He's a good dude, and I think he's a good coach too. He's definitely entertaining, and I promise you it's going to be a ridiculous season.
Yeah.
He's planning. He has some things up his sleeve. Let's put it that way.
All right, Jake, we got one more question for you, and kind of just want to talk a little bit about your twin brother, Joe. He just came back to fight after almost 2 years after being diagnosed with PNH. What was it like for you to see him come back and fight and win a few weeks ago?
It was definitely emotional. When he first got sidelined with his bone marrow disease, we didn't know if he was ever going to be able to compete again. And he's been helping me throughout the last obviously few years of all my fights and training. I know the passion he has for competing. He's competing in wrestling, competing in anything, and I know how much he loves mixed martial arts. But it was a big milestone for him to get back in there and know that he can do it, and that he's healthy. And it was definitely an emotional weekend. His blood level and blood counts were all higher than they've been the past 2 years. So we're blessed right now. He's doing really well, and he's excited to get back in there.
That's great. It seems like the two of you probably had some great goals, and this is a step to both of you achieving them together. So it's congratulations to your brother Joe and to you and to the family.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. So Jake, if people want to follow you and kind of find you online, we talked a little bit about Twitter before. Where can they find you?
Twitter is Ellenberger MMA, and or Facebook as well. It's Jake Ellenberger.
All right.
I've got a website, EllenbergerMMA.com.
Good deal. And do you have any sponsors you want to plug before we end up?
Yeah, sure. I just want to thank Safe Auto Fight Team. Proud to be a member of the Safe Auto Fight Team.
Twitter.com/Ellenberger MMA. Jake, thanks a lot for taking the time to speak with us, and we're looking forward to seeing some big things from you.
Anytime. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today on the MMANonstop.com podcast.
MMANonstop.com, the first place for news and notes online. MMANonstop.com, the fight starts here.